Today marks 1360th day. Share lessons I learned and continue to learn with you. My hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about feeling lost, being even potentially depressed. I think that's totally normal. I think that when we say that that's not normal, then potentially we can really put in the wrong place. But when we think that that is totally normal to feel a loss, to feel that we have something negative emotions. And what I liked is that I heard one lesson about depression. And I really loved what he said. He said that depression doesn't exist. What exists is when we have perspective that some feelings are negative and try to deny them, and then we potentially could lead to depression. But what he said that is really, really profound for me is that depression, 90% is compression. Depression is compression. What the compression truly means then? What compression means? Compression means that you go inwards to reflect on something that is important for you. That means that if you do not compress it, you don't reflect on it, and you deny those thoughts about the things that is important for you, that means you constantly will be in that compressed state and you will start to call it depression because you're constantly in that compressed state. So it means that we need to really allow ourselves to really reflect, to compress, to really go through the thoughts that we need to go through, then not deny them, to accept them, because I think that depression leads not when you don't accept your emotions, don't accept yourself, don't accept the reality, and that potentially could lead to depression. And I think that's when where we start to feel lost. So they will share, I think, what we need to know about feeling lost, because that's I think is a very very important topic, and even Andrew Tate doesn't believe in depression because if you feel depressed, go to gym. If you feel depressed, go to gym. That means you do something to really get out of it. But at the same time, I think that action potentially could really solve the problem that you had, even though that you don't directly address that. But I think that the fastest way to really go out of that compression state that we discussed is to really accept, reflect on the things that is important for you right now. So let's understand, okay, what do we need to know about feeling lost? I've shared six things that we're able to reflect on and really understand to make sure that we're able to really get out of that compressed state potentially even faster. First one is feeling lost is not a sign that something is wrong with you. And I said that again, there's a part of compression. Every single person goes through that season of compression. I'm going through that season, so I'm going through a lot of action, hustle, 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 hustle. And at some point, I feel that I want to be alone. I want to be by myself. I want to potentially be isolated for a couple of days, maybe even for a week. And as part of the journey, I think that sometimes you just go and go and go and go, and your mind, your subconscious mind just wants to compress, wants to reflect, wants to learn. Because I think that our mind is very, very powerful tool. Because wisdom is coming from reflected experiences. Wisdom is coming from reflected experiences. That means if you have a lot of experience but you don't reflect on them, that means that you do not get any wiser. So our subconscious mind is very powerful and puts you in compressed state to say, hey, there's a lot of experiences that you didn't reflect on. Could you allocate some time to reflect, to learn, to get better? So now when you see that you don't feel like 100%, that you don't want to see people, don't want to go out, it's not that you are getting lost, that you don't, that you get depressed, that something is going wrong with you. No. It's just part of your subconscious mind saying that, hey, you have a lot of experience that you didn't reflect on. I want you to get better. I want you to get stronger. I want you to be more knowledgeable, more wise. Sit down and reflect on them. I think that when you have that perspective, so that means that it feels better because you know that is every single person goes through those days. Sometimes even in the same day could potentially that you feel parts of the day that you want to compress and really stay by yourself, even though they spend majority of the time with people. Number two, so nothing wrong when you get that compression invitation to compress yourself. Potentially even feeling lost in that moment. Number two, clarity rarely comes on demand. Clarity rarely comes on demand. This is not on demand solution. That means clarity requires some time. Clarity is awareness. Clarity is reflections. Clarity is journaling your thoughts, understanding your thoughts. That's where the clarity comes from. Because I think that it could be awesome if you could really sit down and understand all the solutions, everything about our life, the path, and everything. That's not how it works. We need to work for it. Clarity is something that we work for, but again, clarity is something that is worth fighting for. And I think that when we feel lost, we want to sit down and get clarity. And if you do not find clarity in that one sit down, we feel sad and bad about it. I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned in life is being able to really block the time, half an hour on building clarity. After that hour, if you didn't figure out it yet, that's all fine. And you block another time after a day, another day for half an hour, 1 hour. And if you didn't figure out another bit, at some point where you will not demand it, when you really give yourself a permission to figure things out, the ideas will start to come. And most important, why the blocking is so important is that when you really start to block and you say like tomorrow I will be looking on that clarity again. So I don't need to think all day long about it because I think that when we start to get in the loop of thinking over and over and over again about the same things, it's very hard to get out of the loop. But when you start doing other things, you start focusing on present, you start doing the things, then you interact with the world better. Another day when the block time comes to really to learn and develop the clarity, it's much easier to really find the answers that you are looking for, that we are looking for. Number three is this is between space where real transformation. This is in between space is where real transformation happens. That's where real transformation happens. I really love it. So action is great, experiences are great, but those experiences will not lead to transformation. Transformation happens when you really look into your experience, your actions, say what worked, what didn't work, what needs to be, what needs to change. So when you're able to reflect that, that's where transformation happens. Transformation happens in that when you're feeling lost, that's where the transformation happens. Because if you don't feel lost, you will not reflect what you need to do differently. And sometimes feeling lost is sometimes that small loss. It's like I'm doing something not right. So it could be not like a bad loss, but be able to be lost in a way that we're able to really develop, transform, evolve. So that feeling lost sometimes it could be good. It shows that you need to really sit down, reflect, and that's where true transformation happens. So I think when you feel that I'm lost, that means that's okay. Like this is a door. This is a door opportunity to change, transform. And so that change and transformation doesn't happen that like so that you're going through the door, easy door. No, you need to find that door. You need to really go through that door, but you need to find the door. And finding the door is that when feeling lost, and that transformation where we're actually able to reflect and say, okay, which doors are supposed to go through. And I think that this true transformation happens when you're feeling lost, you're potentially depressed. And I think that so many people knows that who really succeed, that the biggest memories are in life are the seasons that they were struggling, when they were developing the character, when they were reflecting, when they're able to really build the core of who they are that help them to achieve massive success. Number four, you don't owe anyone a perfect clear narrative while you are here. I think that sometimes people say, okay, what you're going to do? What you're going to do? What's going on? Like, how do you feel? And I think that people want answers. And it's interesting because people want answers when you do not have an answer. Sometimes you do not have the answer, and other people want the answer. They don't know the answers for themselves, but they want answers for you. And I think that's sometimes being okay saying that I don't know all the answers, I will figure out. And I think that sometimes it feels uncomfortable to say that I do not know the answers because we want to be seen that we are okay. And it's hard. It's hard sometimes to say that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how my life look like in 5 years. I know what I want because again, the first part is understanding that we don't need to be perfect, but we need to learn to focus on something because we have a tendency to say that this is what I don't want in 1 year. This is don't want. But what do we really want the 5 years to look like, 1 year to look like, 1 month to look like? And I think that when that's exactly a great start. So like, okay, how that next 2 months will look like for you? what I would love is, and I think that that's it's. And we said like I will figure out in the next month or so. I'm still working on that. I think that and not feeling bad that you need to say that I will figure things out. Some people will ask additional questions, and I will let you know when we'll finish. I think that's again one question that I needed to learn as well, that I sometimes do not know. And when I do not know, rather than really can come up with things at that moment, saying that I do not know how things will look like in the next month or two. And it depends when you are in that compression state. Number five is rest is not the enemy of progress. Again, this is a feeling lost. A lot of them potentially have in mind that we are lazy, we are not executing, we're not hustling, we're not in emotion. But that's again we're supposed to see as a season of rest, season of recharge. And that's again very, very important. Like exactly like probably one of the best examples is going to gym. If you're going to a gym and you work on a muscle, you're not able to work 24/7 on a muscle. The muscle will not grow. You need to leave that muscle alone and allow to really grow and improve. Exactly the same with everything in life, with our mind, with cognitive power, with emotional state, with mental state. When we're developing in our character, when we develop, we need to allow ourselves to reflect, to rest, to really build ourselves up. So progress, if you want progress, we need to rest and recharge. So sometimes we feeling lost because we didn't had enough time to rest and recharge and at the same time to reflect on our movement. And as we feel lost because maybe we don't feel all the emotions that we're supposed to feel because we don't feel those emotions because we always in a rush of doing things and we are busy but not as productive and sometimes going backwards and really say like I need some time to rest so I could move I could grow even faster. And last one, I would want to mention that everyone, yes, everyone goes through this. I think that sometimes we think that some people don't have those compression days, but I think that some people are better in hiding them. I truly believe if you're human, you will have those compression days, those days that you do not feel yourself, those days that you need to rest, recharge, go to nature. And maybe every single person will feel that they are lost, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know if the path is the right path. Maybe some people have more of those, some people less of those, but every single person has those days. And knowing that, I think that it's takes away the pressure to be perfect because you know that every single person is having those, and then I think that we start able to ask, okay, how do you deal with those days when you don't feel well? How do you deal with those days when you feel lost? How do you deal with days when you feel that you need to compress? And I think that being able to accept those days and really go through those days, because one of the best days, one of the things that I learned that really helped me is that when I have like disappointment, mistake, adversity, challenge, struggle, I love myself giving 24 hours, 48 hours, 20, 72 hours of being miserable, feeling lost, whatever, all the feeling all the emotions during 24 hours. And after those 24 hours, most time I don't need more hours because I allow myself to do it. But if I deny that, that prolongs the healing necessary to really move to the next stage. So I hope it's the biggest thing that I want to really for you to take away from today, that depression is just a compression. So you need to be compressed to reflect on your emotions and keep moving forward. Because if you keep doing the right things and you compress and reflect, I think that depression will never come and stay. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.